Evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. I'm wearing my black armband and I'm really sad. This is my first game in 1.3. The FLAYLOCK, this precious gun, has been nerfed, and this was really just to show how bad it is now. So I die a lot and don't expect awesomeness, alright? So just be aware of that. Anyway, so 1.3 is here. It's actually pretty good. I think I'm not entirely sure what changed, but it did, and apparently controls didn't change, but it did feel quite good, I must admit. So here we go, let's see how terrible this gun is, you know what I mean? Used to be able to kill stuff, no problem, but sadly, yeah, this isn't going to go well. Let's see. Anyway, it's a funny thing, okay, well, lucky, okay. That was a lucky kill, I guess. But I think as it's standing at the moment, things are looking pretty good. So I think generally the game is certainly getting there. I think the changes generally, I think, have just been kind of balancing changes. I still kind of hold out. It would be nice to actually have some new content, I think. I think just generally the game is so particular now with the way you play it. There's very little really to do other than just fight each other. Wow, another kill. What the hell's going on? That's crazy. That just cannot be. Basically, I think you know, the majority of the game is still feeling very good. There's combat still quite solid. It's still quite fun. Wow, what's going on? I'm getting kills with this thing. This is craziness. What is happening? I'm actually trolling. There's nothing really wrong with the FLAYLOCK. It's still pretty good. And you can see I've just got what, 6 kills, 5 kills, something like that. There we go. Sorry for my hyena-like laugh there, but that just makes me smile. There is something very odd about this game at times, where they, you know, certain nerfs and certain things are not really nerfs. I think the FLAYLOCK, although my little tombstone montage at the front is obviously trolly, the reality is it's actually still not bad. I think all it is it just does need quite a bit of skill to use, and I've always been quite good with the FLAYLOCK. I've always been very good. It's just because I play so much Quake that I'm very good at the kind of, you know, running and jumping and looking at people's feet and shooting a rocket at it. And that's why the FLAYLOCK to me really worked well. So I'm actually quite chuffed. I think it's pretty good. Let's see if we can kill this dude. No, it's looking dodgy. But the FLAYLOCK, I think it still inspires lovely fear. Let's kill him. There we go. Love it. I think there's definitely it's definitely still a viable gun here, but I have made a promise, and you know, us Brits, us English gentlemen, when we make a promise, we usually ignore it and then invade some land where they use fruit as a weapon and take everything. So what we're going to do is not use the FLAYLOCK anymore. I think it's still quite a viable gun. As you can see, I've got what, 7 kills now maybe from it, and it is certainly still, I think, worthy of use. I mean, it does pack a punch. Look at that, it's still good. What it is it's just less powerful. So I think if you're going to use one, you've got to pretty much invest yourself in it, which, again, if you put yourself fully into any gun, then in theory, boom, then basically you should get some form of good gun from it. Okay, so the basic laser rifle isn't great, but if you use maybe the Visium with the right mods and the right suit and the right skills, it is good. So I think, you know, generally, I think CCP have done an excellent job balancing this FLAYLOCK. It's not as easy, but it's still certainly viable. Hopefully you can see that, because I'm still getting all the usual kills that I would with the FLAYLOCK. I'm still getting. I just have to work that a little bit harder for it, which is a good thing. So what gun am I going to migrate to? Well, I think at the moment, let me explain why I play FLAYLOCK. People, I mean, again, I would like to cite the fact that, you know, John McGeechee and I were using FLAYLOCK before anybody else was really using it, and I do stand by that. I think our use of the FLAYLOCK started a trend of it. I'm not saying we did that, but people, I think, maybe just saw that the FLAYLOCK was quite good. Now, to us, the FLAYLOCK, I think, is no longer technically viable. We could still certainly use it, but I think you've seen enough of this stuff now. So I think that what I'm going to do is the gun for me is going to be the shotgun again. It's very difficult to use the shotgun. I die, you know, the thing with a shotgun as well is you die an extraordinary amount of time, because it's all or nothing with the shotgun. With the FLAYLOCK, it was slightly less problematic. Oh yeah, by the way, that's still a problem. As you can see, I'm getting stuck on the scenery. That little 2-inch curve, I couldn't step over that. So CCP, you might want to fix that. Basically, I think things like the shotgun really are all or nothing guns, and I think I'm going to go back to them. And in fact, I already have. Through the magic of editing, it looks like this is me talking to you today, but the reality was this was yesterday, and it could have been the day before. And the reality is I ran after this game 10 or so matches using the shotgun, and I just ripped it up. It was brilliant. It was fantastic, in fact. Apparently the controls haven't been changed, so maybe it's... Again, let's be clear, there is definitely something about the type of mouse you use. And let me explain that, because there is definitely something... if you use a gaming mouse with a high DP, blah, 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 whatever, then you do seem to get quite a good responsive mouse. So just bear that in mind. I remember seeing something in the patch notes that they are going to cater for these mices that basically have a better, DPI or whatever. And I think they may be worth consideration, because you then get maybe a smoother interaction. Because, as I say, I played numerous matches after this, and it was quite impressive how responsive the shotgun was. So I would say it's definitely worth a look. What I would also say is that the scout suit with a shotgun is still literally a liquid enema basically when it comes, because people, when they see you, shit a brick. I mean, this thing is literally the the best laxative out there is when you run around a corner right in their face and they see you've got a shotgun, because it's amazing how few people try and even fight. They just try and run. So I think definitely the shotgun is going to be something we take a more kind of focused look at. Now, what's going to happen is that I'll start using shotgun. You'll start seeing me go. I mean, I think my average was about 10 and 5. 10 and 5, 20 and 5. So, I think my best was something like 28 and 4, I think, or 28 and 6 maybe. But it was, I get a lot of kills with the shotgun. So what's going to annoy me now is that people are going to see this and they're going to say the shotgun is OP. So I'll tell you what, I'll do you a deal. I'll get really good scores on the shotgun. And die a lot, obviously. If you guys agree not to, if every time a post comes up it says shotgun is OP, you need nerfing, blah blah, is that you literally go into that thread and post let's see, something funny. Let's just go in there and post make the fish thrower or something then, because the problem is that the game, they do seem to be kind of limiting the guns. I mean, it's funny, I was talking to a few dudes about it, and it feels like the game is kind of getting to the point where every gun is just being they're putting a gun out there, people are using it and saying, okay, this is fun, nope, pull it back. I was like, oh, all right, well, okay, right, I'll use this gun, okay, you get a lot of kills, oh, this is a really good gun, no, pull back, you're not allowed to use that gun anymore. And I don't like that. I think CCP need to maybe think about balancing before they put the gun in. Crazy idea, I know, but I think at the moment you can't really put a gun in and then nerf it. It's dangerous to do that, because in a game like this, people, there's no real incentive to stay and play in this game. So I think, people aren't paying for this. They can walk away from this very easily. So I think CCP need to maybe understand that. This isn't EVE, where people are kind of begrudgingly going to accept a change because, hey, you're paying money for this service. In this, if you nerf something where people will get unhappy about that, they will just walk away. And I think that's probably something to bear in mind, because I certainly feel at the moment that a lot of the stuff that's going on in the game is being done from a kind of point of view of just leveling out everything, but not sorting maybe the things that need sorting. Now, in every match I played yesterday, it was filled with Logi LOVs being used to run people over. Okay, nobody could really still shoot anybody out the car, and LOVs basically were still being used as what they were effectively used for. Now, that's shit. That needs fixing. Okay, that is just a very annoying game mechanic that is just annoying people. It's not supposed to be a weapon, so it shouldn't be used as a weapon. These are just common statements, and I think they need to fix that. There's no ifs or buts. That's got to be fixed. Things like the FLAYLOCK change is a good change. I think it's an absolutely brilliant change. I think a lot of the balancing they're doing is very good, and I think there's every patch that we get from Uprising, I think, seems to be very good. It seems to enhance gameplay. I mean, because we didn't have too many people with FLAYLOCKs doing the kind of instant kills, what we found was a more frantic firefight. So, you know, in terms of, you know, the connoisseurs of firefights, this literally yesterday's games were the best I've ever played, I think, because it felt a lot more, I guess, frantic. It felt a lot more, you know, we were struggling to get, you know, to kind of fight against teams. It wasn't just a walkover. And I think that's the best part of the game, when you have to actually, you know, work for your kills. I think also there's still a bit of a problem with the academies and such. I still don't think that, you know, we're kind of putting noobs into battles with people, you know, with the vets, and I still worry about that, because I think it's dangerous to have that. Already you get a lot of people who, funny, I must have done so many videos now, but right at the very start of my videos that I did maybe, what, 6 months ago, I'm still getting comments on that saying, so how do I do this, how do I do that? So people are still coming into the game new, and picking up, you know, obviously from where we begin. And I think probably we need to, you know, there needs to be something done about that, because I don't want, what it is I don't want to feel that the veterans are pushing new players out of the game. If you take a group of, you know, 6 new guys into the game, look like the look of it, looks pretty cool, they come into a round, they meet us in Holy Legion, we stomp them into the ground and, you know, laugh about it, then go on to our next match. We leave having had fun, they leave having a miserable time in dust. Now, unless they're competitive and unless they want to try and push it, the likelihood is they'll just walk away. So they need to do something about that. I think that almost becomes a critical business thing. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. We'll certainly do more. But yeah, RIP FLAYLOCK, never forget.